Hi everyone, this is Gary Toniquette from MoreThanASnapshot.com. Today I'm coming to you with the November contest. We have some really great images this time. All of them were really nice quality images, and they'll be tough to critique and tough to pick a winner. So let's head on over to Lightroom and take a look. Okay, so our first image is a nice mirror reflection. I think the only problem is that even though our indicator in Lightroom doesn't necessarily say that the sky is overexposed, you can see clearly that the sky is overexposed because there's no detail there. And you can see that here also in the water reflection. It's nice and sharp. It is pleasing. Also, because it is very bright, you can see that the trees they sort of look like they've been sort of artificially brightened, and there's not much contrast there to the image. So it's not a bad looking image, but I think it's got some technical issues that take it out of contention. All right, here we have a nice sunset image, and the sky is nice. The thing is, there's not much of interest in the foreground. This little orange spot in the sky almost looks like it could be a flare or something. You know, it may not be. It could just be the sun, you know, being picked up on certain clouds. But I don't know, the impact of this image just isn't the same as some of the others. Not that there's anything really wrong with it. Same with this one. It's a nice image. We got a nice layering of the mountains here. We got a little bit of foreground interest. I think the foreground interest is a bit too far away though. So in this case, I would kind of recommend probably cropping this into like a panel. The interesting part of the image is all down here. So when you crop it into a panel, now our subject is much more easy to identify, and we don't have all that extra space that's not really helping us at all. Again, another nice image. Technically nothing wrong with it. Again, too much sky. Probably don't even need all of that. You can probably go right down there. Put the boat maybe more in the third of the frame. And it just makes the image that much simpler. Again, nothing wrong with the image other than some extra space. Maybe a little bit dark down here in the foreground, a little bit heavy down there. But a fine image for your collection, just not one that's probably going to win a contest. Now this image is quite interesting. And I certainly did consider it very heavily as a possible winner. And, you know, it's a very good photojournalistic type image. Obviously, there's a story going on here. The brush fire is coming. All the smoke is coming maybe towards the road. It's very cool and interesting. There seems to be maybe too much space in the foreground here, so we could try cropping up some on the bottom. And maybe even some on the top. All right. Overall, the exposure looks great. You could try a little bit of clarity in the sky. I'll just hit it with a little bit of clarity just to pop out some of those details. Maybe a little bit of saturation. Not too much. Actually, I'm using vibrance. And I'd probably come in and darken a little bit of this foreground, this road and some of these trees. Not a whole lot. I'm just doing this quick. Because we really want the emphasis to be up on that fire. So kind of darkening down the foreground. Possibly I'd consider darkening or cloning out the signs. Maybe just darkening would be good enough so they are a little less intrusive. We tend to read words if they're in a picture, and that can kind of take our eyes off of the important part of the scene. So it is a very cool image. Great job. in this case, I think we had a stronger image. Now this image is also very nice. I think I would crop it a little bit. Too much sky probably. It's not really adding to the image. We can put our rule of thirds with that mountain right there. And lighting wise, I think is the problem. There is some nice light here, but we don't really have a highlight hitting anything. There's no highlight hitting this water. There's no highlight hitting these trees or this little island in the background. So nothing really pops out and stands out as the subject. And I think that hurts this image a little bit. We could try and brighten up this wave bank to see if we could, you know, pull something out of this. We don't want to make it look, you know, a little, you know, weird or artificial or anything, but the image does kind of need to highlight somewhere, some interest. Maybe even brighten up a little bit here in the background. Just to give it a little bit of pop. And I think that helps a little bit. If you had maybe waited, I don't know if this was sunrise or sunset, waited for the sun to hit something in the scene, like a wave or the island, maybe that would have given you the little highlight that was necessary. And this is the image I've chosen as the winning image by Tim Burling. Congratulations. And it's just a beautiful image, of course, a nice sunset or sunrise, I'm not sure which. But you can see that there are nice deep shadows, an interesting highlight on the rocks here. The rocks kind of act like a line taking you out to the sun. And the clouds are really helping him there, preventing the sun from being too overpowering, too overexposed. And you can tell that he used a technique, so not just finding an interesting subject, but if you can also apply a photographic technique, that can also help to make your image that much stronger. And the technique you can see that he used here was to use a neutral density filter to use a long exposure. And that's how he got this sort of smoky looking water. With the long exposure, it makes the waves all sort of blend together in that smoky looking effect. So that is my choice for the winner. Please feel free to comment down below if you agree with me or not. And don't forget to enter next week's or next month's contest, which will be all about holiday images. So get out there and shoot those Christmas and holiday lights. Again, this has been Garrity Tonicourt from morethanasnapshot.com.